Right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Jorge Acosta Palmer, and I'm the director of the Statewide Training Initiative with Florida Legal Services. We're excited to have you join us here today for Innovation in Action, leveraging Florida Pro Bono Matters to serve communities in need. Before I introduce our speaker, I do want to go through some quick housekeeping announcements. This training is being recorded. You're going to receive a copy of the recording in an email from Zoom within 24 hours. If you don't see that email, no worries. I'm going to drop my email here in the chat as well, and we will be posting it on YouTube afterwards. As far as CLEs, this training was approved by the Florida Bar for 1 general and 1 technology credit. I will announce the CLE code towards the end of the session. I will also drop it here in the chat, and it will also be included in the email that Zoom will send out. Closed captions are enabled for anybody who needs them. If you're having any issues with accessibility or the captions, you can reach out to me directly. This training is being co-hosted by the Public Interest Law section of the Florida Bar, otherwise known as PILS. If you're not familiar with PILS, I encourage you to visit their website. I'm going to drop the link to the website here so you can learn a little bit about their work groups and their operating committees as well. And final piece of housekeeping announcements, questions and answers. We do have the Q&A feature. So if you have a question, you can drop the question in the Q&A feature. Danielle, our speaker, will see those questions. Typically, we will wait towards the end to answer any questions, but if for whatever reason we see that the question is relevant to the topic that we're discussing at the moment, we'll go ahead and kind of address it right there. So the Q&A feature, if you want to be anonymous, it actually allows you to post questions anonymously. So just letting you know. And without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Danielle Lamastro. Danielle is the Community Growth Manager for Paladin. Danielle is passionate about using technology to increase access to justice. She empowers legal services organizations across the country by providing onboarding support and helping organizations maximize the value of Paladin's tools to streamline their pro bono programs. With a problem-solving mindset and commitment to success, Danielle is dedicated to advancing the pro bono ecosystem through innovative solutions. I have to say, I really wanted to put a pro bono-related training for Pro Bono Week. Danielle has been amazing. She's gotten everything that I've asked for. She was really prompt. So without further ado, I'm pleased to pass this over to Danielle. And Danielle, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. I'm excited to go ahead and walk through Paladin and discuss how you can go ahead and leverage Paladin to go ahead and serve those in need. So I will be walking through a PowerPoint, and then we will go ahead and get into a demo of the platform. This will go ahead and apply to both lawyers that are on the call as well as legal services organizations as well. So for those who are unfamiliar with Paladin, Paladin is an online platform that connects legal services organizations with law firms and corporate legal teams on Paladin. Our mission is to be the go-to platform for connecting the pro bono community and empowering legal teams to do more pro bono more efficiently. So we serve a variety of different organizations here. So for LSO specifically, we assist with growing and managing referral networks to efficiently get in front of volunteers completely free of charge. So everything that I'll be going over today is completely free of charge for you. So how do legal services organizations benefit from Paladin? When using Paladin, there are 3 different ways that you will be able to share opportunities. The first is going to be to the FFLA statewide portal, which we have launched earlier this year. The second is going to be with law firms and corporate legal teams on the platform. And then the third is going to be through your organization's customized opportunity page. So we'll go through the 3 different channels here today. When it comes to Paladin, we really help build new referral relationships with LSOs and firms alike. So you'll be able to connect with Paladin's network of law firms and corporate legal teams to go ahead and send opportunities directly to their attorneys. You'll also have a central database for your volunteers so that volunteers can come and find a pro bono opportunity, and you'll have it all logged in track within Paladin as well. So your personalized dashboard will go ahead and help you get the opportunities in front of relevant volunteers. And lastly, you'll be able to share opportunities, or if you're an attorney, find opportunities through the Florida Pro Bono Matters website, so FFLA, and you can go ahead and share your opportunities directly to the statewide portal, and any volunteer that comes to this page can go ahead and find one of your opportunities and volunteer for them. You'll also be able to share your opportunities everywhere, and you'll be able to track it all within Paladin as well. So no more spreadsheets. You'll have an opportunity by opportunity log of your volunteers within Paladin. So I will go ahead and get into my demo site really quickly here, and I will go ahead and walk through the platform today. So the first way that I mentioned you'll be able to share out opportunities is going to be through your organization's customized public opportunity page. I'm going to be showing an example here of Florida Legal Services. And when it comes to your public opportunity page, you are able to go ahead and use this in a variety of different ways. Some ways that you can use this link is you can embed it into your website like Florida Legal Services has. You can go ahead and share it out in any newsletters or email blasts or listservs. You'll also be able to post this on social media if you would like. Really, any way that you would like to go ahead and market your public opportunity page, you are welcome to do so that volunteers can find your opportunities and volunteer for them. So from an attorney standpoint, what it looks like to volunteer for an opportunity is they can come to your public page. They can go ahead and filter down by a variety of different criteria, whether that is practice areas, skill development. It looks like my screen has shifted its view. You'll be able to go ahead and filter down by a variety of different criteria. And essentially what this will allow a volunteer to do is find an opportunity that they are most interested in and that they would like to assist with. I'm going to go ahead and reshare my screen. And I will show you what it looks like for a volunteer to express interest in one of these opportunities. So they can click on an opportunity. I'll go over here to the statewide portal. They can click on an opportunity and it will go ahead and pull up a description of the matter. So you'll be able to see who you will be helping, perhaps the practice area, if training is provided, if supervising attorney is required, what the time commitment looks like. All of this information a volunteer will be able to find right away. If they're interested in the matter, they'll go ahead and click express interest, and you input your name, your email, and then your role type. Those are the mandatory fields. If you're a lawyer, it will go ahead and ask you for your jurisdiction. And once you submit this form, you will be put in contact with the key contact for this opportunity, the pro bono coordinator for this opportunity. So right from there, you'll be able to start coordinating next steps. So it will be for LSOs, it'll be logged in your email, and then it will also be logged and tracked within Paladin as well under this specific opportunity. So those are the two different ways. I know I switched over to the statewide portal, but those are the two public-facing ways that you will be able to utilize Paladin. I'm now going to go ahead and switch into the platform itself, and I will go ahead and walk through how you can go ahead and use Paladin for LSOs. The third way that you'll be able to share out opportunities is going to be through the Paladin network. So there's this network tab up here. When you log into Paladin as an LSO, you'll be able to navigate over to this network tab and find law firms, corporate legal teams, statewide portals that you can go in and connect with. The network tab is a dual opt-in partnership. So you send a request, they get an email, they can go in and accept. You'll also be able to go ahead and click into an organization profile, learn more about their pro bono program. If they have a key contact, you can go ahead and find that information, perhaps the type of opportunities that they're not able to take on. So if a firm, for example, has set any exclusions, you'll be able to find all of that within this organization profile. Once you have connected with a firm or a corporate legal team, you will be able to start sharing opportunities. So you have full control over who you connect with. And once you're connected, you'll then be able to start sharing opportunities with folks on the network tab. So to post a new opportunity, you'll go ahead and click on New Opportunity. And there's going to be two different forms that you can go ahead and select from. One is going to be a matter form, and the other is going to be an event form. So the main difference between these two forms is that for an event form, you will be able to go ahead and note any specific time or dates associated with an event. So if you have a clinic, for example, the first Friday of every month, you can go ahead and input that here with the time and date. And you can simply just duplicate the form so that you'll be able to have, multiple months out of clinics. For clinics as well, you can also go ahead and add a maximum capacity for each event. So for example, if that clinic can only take 10 volunteers or 15 volunteers, you can set a maximum capacity of that number. And as soon as it reaches that limit, it will go ahead and be labeled as full so that nobody else can go ahead and volunteer. You won't have to turn anybody away. They can just go ahead and find another event in the future. Wonderful. So when it comes to posting a matter, when it comes to the title, we always recommend making this piece here as descriptive as possible. So giving a who, an action, a what, you'll be able to go ahead and kind of really build out that title. And so you can go ahead and post the title as well as a thorough description without any PII. If you'd like to upload any documents, such as training documents or information about your organization, you're welcome to do so. And then I mentioned in the previous page that you'll be able to receive a volunteer introduction email if you are the key contact on an opportunity. This is where you can designate who that key contact is for that opportunity. It can change, with each opportunity if you would like, but this is where you'll be able to designate that key contact. And this will be the person who receives that volunteer introduction email connecting you and that volunteer. You'll also be able to note the engagement type, as well as any licensing information and location information as well. You can also go ahead and give your best guess on an estimated time commitment. And if you would like, you can go ahead and add any additional timing details, such as this matter might take up to 6 months or a year to complete or anything like that. Below, you'll be able to categorize your opportunities into different practice areas and causes and communities. Volunteers can go ahead and filter down by this on your public opportunity page on the statewide portal, as well as on each attorney's dashboard on Paladin as well. Law firm attorneys and corporate legal attorneys, they can also go ahead and set preferences for the types of opportunities that they're interested in. So for example, if you shared this out to a firm that you are connected with and one of their attorneys has a housing preference and you go ahead and post an opportunity and you designate housing as a practice area, your opportunity is going to show up higher on their dashboard. And all attorneys on Paladin also receive a weekly digest of opportunities in their email, and it'll go ahead and show up higher there as well. So you're able to go ahead and select up to 4 areas for both the practice areas and the causes and communities served, as well as any volunteer qualifications as well. Required experience, language proficiencies required, you can note as well. Lastly, you're able to go ahead and enter any skill development pieces as well. We have a great number of associates on the platform. We know that law students come to public opportunity pages and statewide portals to go ahead and find opportunities. So you're welcome to go ahead and include this piece here. And lastly, you can note if training is provided, if volunteers need to be working with the supervising attorney who's going to be providing that and like. If you select yes for if training is provided, it'll go ahead and allow you to also add a training description as well. And then you can also note if CLE credit is available for the opportunity. By default, all opportunities will be set to expire 1 month out. So November 22nd, you can go ahead and move this up to 6 months in the future. And about a week or 2 out, you'll receive an email prompting you to either extend the opportunity or stop recruiting on it. So you'll get that notification and you'll be able to kind of keep tabs on your matters. At the very bottom is where you'll be able to choose who you would like to receive your opportunity. So for example, if you'd like to share it to your public opportunity page, to the FFLA statewide portal, or to any law firm or corporate connections, you can go ahead and designate that here. Like I said prior, you have full control over where all of your opportunities are going. Once you create the opportunity, it will be visible to all the channels in which you shared it out with. Paladin is a real-time database, so all volunteers have to do is go in and refresh and find your matter. Wonderful. I'll now go ahead and show where you can find your volunteers. So this is my dashboard. I'm on a demo site. And if we click on this Express Interest tab here, this is where we'll be able to find all of our volunteers that have expressed interest. So you'll be able to see who has expressed interest in your opportunities on an opportunity by opportunity basis. And if you click into an opportunity, you'll be able to find your list of volunteers. While that is loading, right from your dashboard, you can also do a few things. You can see where your opportunities have been shared out to. You can also stop recruiting on an opportunity at any time. You're also able to get a public URL. So if you'd like to share an opportunity out to social media, for example, you can go ahead and get that public URL as well. So now that we're in the Interest Express tab, you can go ahead and click on an opportunity that somebody has expressed interest in. Right from your dashboard here as well, you can always restart recruitment, or if this is a currently recruiting opportunity, you can always stop recruiting on that as well. But if we click on volunteer management here, we will be able to find our list of volunteers. We can do a few things from this page. We can go ahead and email volunteers directly. It will pull up your default email browser, so you can go ahead and send an email with any updates or announcements or next steps or anything like that. You'll also be able to download this list as a spreadsheet. So the information that you found or that the volunteer filled out on the public page, for example, with their name, their email, if they have a message to the organization, their role types, so if they're a lawyer, you'll be able to see their jurisdiction. All of that information will be in this spreadsheet here, so you can go ahead and download that as well. And if you'd like, you're welcome to go ahead and place a volunteer on an opportunity and say, yes, so-and-so took on this matter. It will go ahead and send them an email saying that they have been placed on the opportunity. At any time, you can go ahead and edit an opportunity by clicking this pencil button here. It'll open up this opportunity in the opportunity creation form. You can view your opportunity as like an attorney view, and you can always duplicate the matter as well. So if you have a very similar opportunity that you've already posted and you just need to make some minor edits, for example, you can always duplicate the listing and just change the pieces there that need to be modified. Wonderful. Right from your dashboard as well, you can go ahead and share your opportunity out more broadly. So perhaps you shared your opportunity to a law firm connection and your public opportunity page, and you'd like to share it to the FFLA portal. You can always click on a checkbox or multiple checkboxes and click this share tool. This will show you all of the places in which you've shared your opportunity out to, and you can always go ahead and share it out again more broadly as well. This place column up at the top here is going to be any opportunities that you've placed a volunteer on. It will go ahead and show you that list. And then your all is going to be an archive of all of your opportunities, so you'll never lose track of any of your matters. This public list tab up here at the top is where you'll be able to find your organization's customized public opportunity page. As I mentioned in the beginning, we recently came out with a feature to go ahead and embed this into your website. So volunteers can come to one page, they can find all of your opportunities, and they never have to leave your website to take on a volunteer opportunity. So if this is something that your organization is interested in, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm more than happy to go ahead and get that process started for you. We also have two different integrations as well. We have an integration with Legal Server as well as Justice Server. So if your organization does not have this integration enabled right now, and you would like to go ahead and have us enable that, we are more than happy to help with the configuration for that integration as well. The last place that I would like to go ahead and take us today is the Teams tab. So if you are an admin at an LSO and you have a Paladin account, you can go ahead and add team members at any time. So simply go ahead and click on the Team tab and select Add Member. Here you'll just have to go ahead and enter in their name, their email, their title, and their jurisdiction. And once you submit this and you click Add Member, it will go ahead and send them an invitation email prompting them to log in and set a password. So it's a Paladin generated email, and it'll go ahead and prompt them to go ahead and set a password. Wonderful. Well, that is Paladin. I know that we've walked through a variety of different things today. We walked through the statewide portal, we walked through a public opportunity page example, and we walked through the Paladin platform. But I know that we have a few different folks here as well that would like to go ahead and chime in as well. So Jorge, I will go ahead and pass it over to you.
All right, while I wait for some of the people that may be able to chime in, I was we did have a few questions in the Q&A. We have here is the networking feature the same as the feature that allows you to share this opportunity with when creating a new opportunity?
Yeah, that's a great question. So once you have connected with a law firm or a corporate legal team in the network tab, they will go ahead and show up in that share to dropdown when you're going to post an opportunity. So once you're connected, you'll be able to go ahead and share opportunities out. But if you're connected with them and you don't go ahead and select them in that dropdown, they won't receive your opportunity. So you have full control over where your matters go. And so if you select that firm, for example, that you've connected with, they can then go ahead and receive that matter. That's a great question.
And I was gonna add, if anybody wants to raise their hand and ask the question out loud, I can also bring you off mute. If that's the case, the other question that I had here is Paladin charging LSOs, which I assume stands for Legal Services Organizations, for the integration process.
Nope. So both integrations are completely free of charge. The legal server integration, if you ask legal server to assist you with the integration, there is a charge. But Paladin has more, we have plenty of help articles to go ahead and help you get that set up. There's a few key pieces of information that you'll need to go ahead and set that up in your legal server instance. But again, if you're interested, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll go ahead and let me go ahead and pull up my email up here. And feel free to reach out to me directly and I can go ahead and help you get that set up.
All right, let me see if there's any. And the follow-up question is, who may we contact directly to do that? So there
Yes,
is
I
the.
will I'll go ahead and put my contact information up here, and go ahead and feel free to reach out to me at any time.
All right, so what I'll do is I'm gonna put my pro bono attorney hat, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions, Danielle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and send you the well, it might be easier if I share my screen because I have the.
Yes. Oh, I see another great question here as well, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are the advantages or differences between posting directly on Paladin versus with the integration legal server? So for legal server, with that integration, what that allows you to do once it's configured is you post an opportunity into legal server. Once it's configured, you'll see a button next to that opportunity in legal server that says push to Paladin. I can also go ahead and show this really quickly here too. But it will allow you to go ahead and pull the opportunity from legal server into Paladin so that you can go ahead and just edit your draft. So let me go ahead and pull this up and I will walk through this integration here. So if you are interested, you have to go ahead and reach out to me directly. There's a few permissions that I need to go ahead and enable on your account. But you can go ahead and click into this legal server tab. And once you send the opportunity over from legal server into Paladin, it will show up in your legal server tab here. You can go ahead and click review and publish, and it will pull in probably between 75 to 80% of the information within the opportunity creation form. So it'll go ahead and pull in the bulk of information, like I said, like the title, the description, and then there's just a few key pieces that are Paladin mandatory that you'll have to go ahead and fill out. But otherwise, it will go ahead and pull in a good number of fields here. Hope that's helpful. I see a few hands raised.
Yeah, Chris, yeah, if you want to go ahead, I took you off mute. If you want to go ahead and ask your question.
Well, I have two questions. The first one is the part that you showed where you can have a Paladin attorney who has shown interest and opportunity sign up to have like a Paladin email. Could you go through that one more time? And does that is that to create a temporary username or password so that they can have access to legal server, or is it just access to Paladin?
Was that in regards to the Teams tab or when a volunteer is going to express interest?
When a volunteer.
Okay, let me go ahead and bring that back up. So A volunteer filling out that information does not create an account for them. Volunteers don't need to create an account. They can just go ahead and fill out that information and then get connected with you. So let me go ahead and pull this back up here. So again, all they need to do is just fill out a few key pieces of information. So they click on express interest. They can, if they have a Paladin account, they can go ahead and log in. But otherwise, as an external volunteer, they just need to go ahead and fill out these few pieces of information, such as their name, their email, and then their role type. So again, if they're a lawyer, it'll go ahead and ask them for their jurisdiction. If they'd like to go ahead and send a message to the organization, they may. And then once they click express interest, they receive a volunteer introduction email connecting the key contact on this opportunity with them, so that you can both start coordinating next steps. Is that helpful?
So it is. So who was the temporary password information for? I guess I missed that part real quick.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So when you are in the Teams tab, let me go ahead and get back to the Teams tab here quickly. So in the Teams tab, if you have a team member at your organization, for example, that would like to get in and also post opportunities. So if you hire a new pro bono coordinator or anything like that, that need access to Paladin, you'll be able to go in and just add them as a team member. We're always happy to go ahead and add team members on your behalf if you reach out, but you also are able to do it within the platform as well. So all you'll have to do is just go ahead and fill out their information, click add member, and they will go ahead and receive an email prompting them to log in and set a password so that they can come in, they can go ahead and, connect with firms or post opportunities or find the volunteers or anything like that.
So on that note, is there a way to have the interest kind of triage? Because right now between my director and me, and then we have a staff, like a legal assistant helping us. Anytime someone shows interest, we're all getting the same alerts. And we're working and servicing different counties and, judicial circuits. And we would really want to be able to just, I would only want to receive alerts that have to do with the 4th versus the 3rd, 8th, 7th, all of that. Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, so we're always happy to go ahead. So I'll also go ahead and add here too, that yes, the key contact will receive that volunteer introduction email connecting them with the volunteer. All the other admins at your organization that have a Paladin account, they will also receive a notification email notifying them that somebody has expressed interest in a matter, and saying that there's been a separate email that's already been sent out with the key contact. We're always more than happy to go ahead and turn off those notifications for you if you'd only like to receive notifications or receive that volunteer introduction email for any opportunities that you've posted and that you're the key contact for. We're always happy to go ahead and turn off other notification emails for you as well, though.
Okay, so that's something that can be done, but it has to be done through you guys. It's not something we can do on our end.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can go ahead and connect offline as well this week, and we can go ahead and discuss that further.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So great questions. If anybody else has questions, by the way, or they want to raise their hand, let me know and I'll bring you off mute because these were great questions. I was already thinking back to the days of having to worry about multiple counties, so I know the struggle is real. While other questions come up, I was gonna share my screen to kind of show you another preview, like maybe what a pro bono, the pro bono attorney perspective and the typical scenarios that they could come into. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right. So I'm here on the pro bono, in this case, the Pro Bono Matters page. I'm joining the one through Funding Florida Legal Aid or FFLA. And one that caught my attention immediately, because what I typically do is non-renewal of lease here. I saw this one, and let's say I am a pro bono attorney, and I see that this is a brief opportunity. And one thing that was interesting was that there are under causes and communities, I did see multiple options. There's elderly, homelessness, and poverty. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on this one, and this is what I get. And based on what you said earlier, let's say I'm interested, I would click here, right? And this doesn't mean I'm committing to anything yet. This is just me expressing interest. And I can see a description here. as a pro bono attorney, and let's say reading this based on my area of law, this would be something like, oh yeah, sure, this is something that I may be able to handle. So I would click here on express interest, right? Now let's say I know nothing about housing, but I may know somebody in the San Antonio area, and I wanted to share this with somebody else. I'm gonna click here just to see what happens, but can you walk me through different options on how this works as far as sharing these opportunities?
Yes, absolutely. So you can always go ahead and share an opportunity out to anybody within your network if you would like, from a public opportunity or a public facing page, if you will. So you can go ahead and share out this link, and you can share it with any colleagues that might be within this county. You can go ahead and also post this on social media as well. If you are looking to reach a broader audience, you can post this really anywhere that you would like to. You can post it in a listserv, you can post it in a newsletter. If you're looking for assistance on a specific type of opportunity, you can always go ahead and get that direct link and share that out more broadly.
I see here when I go back to all the opportunities, right now we have 271 opportunities. So there's a few filters. We have engagement types. I see here brief services, community training, legal research. Can you maybe chime in a little bit on how these filters work?
Absolutely. So you can go ahead and stack filters at any time. So if you were to select limited scope representation, for example, and then you were to move over to practice area, it'll go ahead and reflect the type of opportunities that are still available. So you could go ahead and select one of those. You could stack that as well. This is really meant to help an attorney find an opportunity that they're most interested in. So if they have expertise in family law, for example, and they can take on an opportunity that's 11 to 20 hours or 20 to however many hours, they can go ahead and find that opportunity that has been posted. So it's really meant for you to go ahead and find an opportunity that's most relevant to you.
When it comes to the content that goes within the opportunity, do you have any tips on, how long should the description be? Because I've clicked on a few random ones, and I've seen a paragraph, I've seen the one sentence. So any tips that you have for the community as far as the best way to post these?
Absolutely. I think one of the best ways to think about it is, if you were an attorney looking for a pro bono opportunity, what type of information would you want to see and know ahead of time? This is really meant for you to kind of give a thorough description without any PII, of course, to help an attorney make the decision on if this is an opportunity that they would like to proceed with and would like to assist with. So my recommendation is to give a few sentences, probably at least 3 sentences at a minimum, and describe the type of opportunity without giving any identifying information, but really help an attorney understand what it is that they could be assisting with. And like you mentioned as well, just because a volunteer expresses interest does not mean that that is automatically, that they're going to take that on. They still have to go ahead and have conversations with the organization, make sure that this is a good fit, run conflicts at the firm if, that applies. But when it comes to posting the title of the opportunity, that's going to be the first thing that a volunteer sees when they are scrolling through either your public page, an attorney's dashboard on Paladin, or the FFLA statewide portal. That's going to be the first thing that they see. So making that as descriptive as possible, I think, is a really great, suggestion. And then also building out that description is going to help an attorney make the most informed decision on if this is an opportunity that they would like to take on.
Lucia, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay, so on this note, if we're able to get the integration process completed, how does the integration process work with the list of providers that we have already had to put in manually in Legal Server for posting pro bono matters and reaching out to them versus having Paladin now? Because what I would say is, in the last week, I had to kind of revert back to the old-fashioned way of like reaching out and trying to recruit. And I have to say it was a lot more successful than what I've experienced with Paladin. And, I was able to get like 9 cases off of my load that in the last 72 hours that have been on Paladin since we made this transition. And so I'm just wondering, like, because from what I've heard, like once you have it integrated into legal server, it's great because then, like you said, you press the button and then it just outsources that back to Paladin and you only have to, edit a few things, but it still won't reach out to those attorneys that we've already kind of created a relationship with, a report with, that we have in legal server, right? Like we would still have to then reach out to them individually. Is that kind of what's going on?
Yeah, so we never want to take away from any of your current processes that work for your organization. We really kind of want this to help supplement the work that you do, while also kind of keeping a centralized database of opportunities and your volunteer management and tracking all of that. So one of the recommendations that I would have, it sounds like you were able to place a great number of volunteers that can take on opportunities, and that's fantastic. And that's exactly what we want to see. So one of my recommendations would be, if there's an attorney that would be interested in a certain type of opportunity that's been posted to Paladin, feel free to send them that direct link. That way, if they're interested in volunteering for it, they can go ahead and fill out that form, and that's all still logged and tracked in one place. If you, would like to go ahead and still do, individualized outreach, that's fantastic. We encourage that. We think that that's, a great way to find volunteers, and we don't want to take away from that at all. But if you are interested in, kind of keeping that centralized database of volunteers in one place, you can always go ahead and send out direct links to opportunities, maybe put them in any newsletters or individualized outreach emails. You can go ahead and post them on your public opportunity page and share that out. So I think, the way that you market your links and, whether that's your public opportunity page too, that can also really be beneficial if you'd like to keep it in one centralized place. But I'm really happy to hear that you were able to place 9 or, have volunteers take on 9. That's fantastic. And I'm so happy to hear that, especially during Pro Bono Week.
So that's a great point. So in your demo or in the rest of your webinar today, will you have a moment or a part of the series where you show us how to copy the link, like short of just copying and pasting the URL? Is there like a specific copy link feature through Paladin so that we can then share that when we reach out like individually?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and pull this up right now. And then I'll also go ahead and pull up just like a PDF that I have of how you can go ahead and market that as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So on your public opportunity page, the first thing that you want to note is whether it is private or public. It needs to be public in order for volunteers to come and find it, of course, but you can go ahead and click copy to keyboard or to clipboard, and then you can go ahead and paste it in the various channels in which you'd like to go ahead and share it out. If at any time you'd like to see what your public page looks like, you can click on this little box here with the arrow. That'll go ahead and open up your public page so that you can see what the volunteers are seeing as well. But you are welcome to come in and share it out as far and wide as you would like. That's really up for you to go ahead and decide how you would like to share it out. But if you'd like everything to be in one centralized place, you can, absolutely use your public page. And again, if your organization or any other organizations are interested in embedding this into your public page as well, the only thing that you need to do is let me know that you're interested. Make sure that your public opportunity page is turned to public, and I can go ahead and pull the appropriate information and send that over to you. That way, okay. Similar to Florida Legal Services, a volunteer can come to the Pro Bono opportunities page. They can find all the opportunities right away and volunteer for it. So it's all in one place. They don't have to go to an extra link. It's just in one place there.
Okay. And did you already, I know you showed us like a little screenshot earlier of your contact information, but is it somewhere in the chat?
Yeah, I will go ahead and send it in the chat here in just a moment. I'd also like to go ahead and show this as well. These are just some different ideas in which you can go ahead and make the most of your public list. So like I said, you can go ahead and send it out in any emails. When you're reaching out to volunteers, feel free to send a direct link or, to a specific opportunity that they might be interested in, or to your public opportunity page so that they can find one that they're most interested in. You can hyperlink it on your website. You can embed it in your website. I've seen a lot of really great examples of people linking this in their email signature block as well. So as they're reaching out to volunteers, it can say, interested in it, interested or looking for pro bono opportunities, and then a volunteer can go right there and they can find it. So a lot of really great ways for you to go ahead and share this out and really kind of make the most of your public list.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, I will go ahead and share my contact information in the chat. Any other questions that we can help with or answer?
Beyond the contact information in the email that goes out, well, we will include the copies of the slides as well, and I'll make sure to include Danielle's contact information there as well. So everybody that's watching this, they will also get it. The link that I dropped here, that was basically the same thing that I was showing you earlier about that opportunity that I found that I kind of like that one. That's the link that I shared, and I guess that's the link that Danielle mentioned earlier too, that could be used to, let's say you have an attorney already, like you post the opportunity, and I'm guessing Danielle, correct me if I'm wrong. If I know that there's an attorney that would be interested in particular, rather than wait for that attorney to find that opportunity, I could email that link directly, like, hey, you might want to take a look, right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah. And sometimes being proactive with those types of opportunities are the best too. I think the goal is, you want the opportunity to be up for a short period of time because you want that volunteer to be able to find it and take it on. So, if you want to keep all your matters in one centralized place and all your volunteers in one centralized place, send those individualized links out to those specific opportunities, and send them out directly. So wonderful.
And on social media, I know I actually have my LinkedIn up right now, so I'm gonna use the same link as an example without posting it because it's a real case. But do you have any specific tips when it comes to posting on social media? I don't know if there's like a specific integration or if it's based on that link. All I have right now is the link that I copied from before, so obviously this is what happened so far. But any tips or best ways to post these on social media?
Yeah, so what I would recommend is, I believe you can hyperlink, if I'm not mistaken, in, I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but I
there
think
is a way.
before. If you can't, you can go ahead and post the individualized link, of course. But for some reason, I thought that you could hyperlink. I might be wrong. But feel free to go ahead and post that opportunity, kind of make it an exciting opportunity, like looking for a pro bono opportunity during, pro bono week, and make it really appealing to the volunteer. I think would be my biggest suggestion. If you were a volunteer attorney coming across an opportunity on LinkedIn, what would you like to see? I think is probably my biggest suggestion there. But if you post the opportunity, it'll go ahead and give you that little block, with the preview header there. So, an attorney will be able to see that, but, post them on LinkedIn, any way that you can really kind of appeal to volunteers, go ahead and use those links for.
Now, another question from the attorney perspective. Let's say I see an opportunity and I'm like, I love it. I'm expressing interest. But let's say somebody beat me to it. Chrissy has sent out an email to one of her people and they volunteered first. So do I get, as a pro bono attorney that expressed interest, do I get notified if somebody else took the opportunity? How does that work?
Yeah. So, what I would recommend for that kind of situation is that, an attorney and the key contact for that opportunity are always looped into an email. So, if the opportunity's already been placed as, the pro bono, coordinator or alike, feel free to go ahead and reach back out to that volunteer, let them know that there's other opportunities, encourage them to go ahead and continue looking through your public opportunity page. And that's probably my biggest recommendation there, is just because a volunteer expresses interest doesn't mean that they take on that opportunity, of course, but we want you to encourage them to continue looking for other opportunities. Please, go ahead and reach back out to them, make sure that they have a good experience. That way they want to come back and find more opportunities, of course. So feel free to, have that transparent communication with the volunteer, would probably be my biggest suggestion there. But they would not get notified if the opportunity's already been placed. A lot of that communication happens off of Paladin.
Right. And I'm gonna call Priscilla, you had another comment or question?
So it's just interesting because when I was placing these cases, I had a lot of people respond almost immediately and say, "Oh, we can do it." And then other attorneys were like, "Oh, I can do it," but it was like either hours later or days later. And I was able to say, just kind of like what you said, like let them know this one's taken, unfortunate, but we also have a similar case if you're interested. And that's how I placed the 9 cases that I had. I did wish Paladin had a way of notifying when it was taken, but let me ask you, on your end, when we click the stop recruiting button, obviously that's the only real notification that anyone has as to whether or not a case has been fulfilled, right? Like someone has already volunteered for it.
Correct. Yeah. So once you stop recruiting on an opportunity, it'll just go ahead and take it down from all of the different channels in which you shared it out to. Nobody will be notified of it. But it will be taken down from all of the channels. So if you sent it to the statewide portal, for example, it would automatically be taken down. Just like when you post an opportunity, it's automatically shared out. But
Now let
there's
me ask you. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're okay. There's no notification that goes out when it comes to stopping recruiting on an opportunity, though.
Okay, so then let me ask you something. Sometimes, do you recommend, like, a lot of times I have someone who actually selects it and is interested, but I don't click the stop recruiting until the conflicts have cleared, because it has happened to me where an attorney has had to tell me, listen, I have a conflict, I can't take this on. And then I have to, repost it, which that's not an issue because you just click the button for, whatever. But then I don't know, sometimes I feel like it might be a little like a little too soon to press the stop recruiting button. Like what have you experienced, or if there's anyone else here today that has an opinion about it, I'd be interested to know.
Yeah, so I've heard the two opposite ends of do I stop recruiting as soon as a volunteer has expressed interest? That way, if they do clear conflicts, then I don't have to go ahead and tell another attorney that the opportunity's already been placed, and discourage, the last thing we want to do, of course, is discourage volunteers from expressing interest and taking on your cases. And then I've also heard the other side, which is I'd rather have multiple attorneys go ahead and express interest, and then I can have conversations with them and decide who is best. I've heard both. I think it really kind of does depend on your internal processes and what has worked out best for you. I've heard of organizations doing either side, though. So I don't necessarily have an exact answer.
Yeah.
My recommendation, I always think that it's best to just stop recruiting on it really quickly. And then, if it turns out that the conflicts did not clear, it's just one button to go ahead and restart recruiting on it. But I think it's up to you of, do you want multiple volunteers expressing interest in an opportunity? And are you okay with that? And if so, that's great. And that's what, works for your organization. Or would you rather go ahead and, stop recruiting and just restart it, if it kind of falls through?
Yeah, I guess the question arises for me because when we made the shift to Paladin, we had people in the district attorney's office show interest, but there's a lot of red tape right now for them to be able to volunteer. And I had stopped the recruitment, but this person ended up not getting clearance. It took like more than 2 weeks to even get an answer. And I guess that just left me with like a bad experience on my end as the user and posting and everything. And so after that, I was just kind of like, well, I don't know if I really want to just stop recruiting as soon as someone shows interest and, you give them the information to clear conflicts, because that happened to me. So I want to know, but that's good information.
Yeah, another suggestion there too is that if you have a very similar type of opportunity that you could go ahead and share with the other volunteers, that's another way that you could kind of work it as well. So if you have multiple volunteers coming in and you've already placed the opportunity, and the conflicts have cleared, for example, but you have multiple other volunteers, maybe find a similar opportunity and go ahead and encourage them to go ahead and volunteer for those as well. Could be another way too.
Okay, thank you.
We do have a few special guests today. We have Carolina Diego and Kayla Rivera with LCMI, and we have Samantha Howell with Three Rivers. And we wanted them to chime in on their experience that they've had so far with Pro Bono Matters. So Danielle, any like directed questions like do you want to ask them? I would probably go with what has been the most effective practices, any tips that you would provide to the legal services organizations, and what works with the pro bono volunteers. So Carolina, if you want to go up first, or Kayla.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us. We kind of wanted to give a good review and a happy plug because we've been users for quite a few years. And no, it's been, tools like Paladin just really help us connect with pro bono volunteers in such a effective and quick way. It's been a way that we have found that our clients get the assistance that they need the fastest. So what I like the most about this tool, about Paladin, is how I'm able to get very specific with what I'm looking for in my volunteers, because I don't have a cap in how much space I have allocated to the description of the case. So it really allows me to describe what my matter is and how I can get what it is that I need for my clients to receive assistance. And it allows the firms to be very strategic as well, using the filters to really like target and narrow down what they're looking for and make sure that they are getting a case that meets their comfort level and that meets their expertise. So overall, I would say I've had a very positive experience. And Kayla, I don't know if you'd like to chime in as well. Kayla works closely with me at Legal Services. We work in the pro bono team, so we use this tool often. So I'll pass it on to Kayla if she has any feedback.
Hello, everybody. Well, to continue with what Carolina was saying, what I can say is that have been using Paladin since 2020 and posting cases since 2022. So it is simple to post. We create the matters and opportunities with just a few clicks. Additionally, now we have the option, like you were saying, Danielle, of integrating the Paladin into legal servers. So that will give us, that will save us time by just posting to legal server and then transferring it to Paladin. I think it's a great, and it'll assist us with, like I said, with saving time and making it more efficient for us.
You, Kayla, and Samantha. By the way, thanks to Samantha for joining here. She was just at a clinic, so unbelievable that you're here. So if you are able to chime in, thank you so much.
And I am so sorry to cut you off, but I do apologize. We have to run. We have a 1 o'clock, Kayla and I. So we have to run out to another meeting. But it was great to be here, and thank you for that great presentation. We learned a lot of valuable information. So thank you, Danielle, and thank you, George, for the invitation. We had a great time.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
For being here. It is Pro Bono week, so I know everybody with Pro Bono is super busy. So we really appreciate everybody being here. So Sam, your turn.
Yeah, ditto. Thanks for everybody coming. I apologize. I had to end up missing most of this. We had a clinic today that just ran really, really long. But that's what we do. We roll with the punches, right? Like Kayla and Catalina, I've been using Paladin for a few years now. And also used the predecessor with SavvySuit. And I think within my context of the Florida Pro Bono Coordinators Association, the thing that I want to highlight is that some organizations seem to have a lot better engagement through the online recruiting than others. I think a lot of it has to do with our service area and access to large firms, which still seems to be who is using the online recruitment tools. So I think there have been two circumstances where I think we've had a lot of success using Paladin or Pro Bono Matters, I should say. One of those is in working with large firms. For our service area, that is largely Jacksonville, or firms in other locations. So, you know, maybe we have a client in our service area, but issue in Tampa or something. And then and for remote opportunities that we have available, that's been very successful. The other place where it's been very successful is in the past through the Law School Pro Bono Challenge. We see a huge uptick in people grabbing cases when the challenge is ongoing. Now, I know they've temporarily suspended it, but that's a big jump. And I also, every once in a while, we see just really big upticks. And I don't know if that's because the notification has gone out from the Bar Foundation, or I'm sorry, the FFLA, or the training initiative. But every once in a while, we get like, you know, 4 or 5 things all at once. And so I think there's definitely some ebbs and flows and trends that vary largely on the types of practice and also the location. And so I do think, you know, it's good to have a lot of tools in your toolbox, but you can never really rely exclusively on one of them. So I just think that's something for folks to be aware of is, you know, you're going to reach certain groups, but, you know, your small and solo practitioners, at least in my experience, they seem to still rely on email and phone calls. And so I think, you know, that messaging is really important for us as providers through the FPBCA. We try to do some messaging around those access points to try to get attorneys going through these, you know, these online recruitment tools that help us streamline some of that process. So that's just kind of my 2 cents. I again apologize terribly for being late, and I look forward to seeing the recording afterwards and talking to Kritzy about everything that happened. But I'm also happy to answer any additional questions.
That was amazing feedback. It almost seems like you were here the entire time and listening to everything that was being said, because you just gave everybody a lot of great feedback and great tips on how to use the platform and best practices. Danielle, I'm gonna pass it back to you. I did have 2 more questions kind of planned here. In regards to support, like what kind of support can Paladin offer to legal services organizations, and what other features are you expected to release soon?
Yeah, great question. So when it comes to support for LSOs, I'm the community growth manager, so I support all of our LSOs here at Paladin. So feel free to reach out at any time. I provide one-on-one personalized demos. We can workshop. We can, you know, really do anything that will be most beneficial when it comes to posting your opportunities on Paladin to Florida Pro Bono Matters and other channels. So I'm always available for a call, you know, whether that's a workshop or that is a one-on-one demo, or, you know, talking about ways to expand your usage. I'm always available to go ahead and discuss those. And then when it comes to new releases for LSOs, new features, we have a few things in the works that we're really excited to share. We will be releasing a reporting feature. We'll be providing you all with reports for LSOs in the first half of 2025. So you will be able to see a variety of different reporting metrics in your Paladin dashboard. So we're really, really excited about reports. And then also there's going to be a new look to the opportunity creation form. So a little teaser there, we're going to go ahead and split out 2 different parts of the opportunity creation form to make it a little bit easier for you all. So those are the 2 big things that are coming up. But the reports thing, I specifically am very excited for you all to be able to see those and have all that data accessible to you.
All right, so we're almost at time. I posted the CLE code in the chat. I'm gonna read it out loud just in case. It's 2410218N. And Samantha mentioned an organization that, in case you're not familiar with, I'll just do a quick plug. I dropped the link here in the chat. You know, sharing is caring. That is the Florida Pro Bono Coordinator Association. There's a lot of information about that organization in there, and you know, Samantha and LSC, the people from LSCMI, both Kayla and Carolina, shared some great tips and feedback with us. However you use these platforms, feel free to share with the community. There may be some things that we haven't thought of that you are using it for. I actually, when I went in on the Pro Bono Matters website, I was kind of going through different organizations to see how they would post and start picking up on some ideas with what the best practices are. So with that said, I don't think I see any other questions. I do see Danielle's contact information in there. I'll include it in the email that is gonna go out. So I know a lot of you are super busy with Pro Bono Week and or are hungry like me. I haven't had lunch yet. So with that said, Danielle, thank you so much for this very insightful presentation, and thank you all for attending. If you were not able to attend, thank you for registering. Special thanks to Chrisia for last minute participation in the amazing questions. We hope you found this session valuable and that it provided useful takeaways for your work. So thank you again, Danielle, for sharing your expertise with us, and all of you for participating. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you all so much.